Hello. This is Kate. Now, we are going to learn about Chapter 2 European Exploration of the Americas. For ease of understanding, I have divided this chapter into 3 sections. Mike is going to explain about the first section called Spain Claims an Empire. Crystal is going to explain about the second section called European Competition in North America. Paul is going to explain about the third section called the Impact of Colonization.
Hi, Mike here. Now we are going to learn about our first section of Chapter 2 called Spain Claims as Empire. In 1493, Pope Alexander VI drew an imaginary line, called the Line of Democracy. It divides the world in 2 parts. Lands to the east of the line belonged to Portugal, and lands to the west belonged to Spain. A year later, Spain and Portugal signed the Treaty of Tordessillas, which moved the line of demarcation more than 800 miles to the west. European exploration soon increased. Its goals were threefold. First, countries wanted to spread Christianity. Second, they wanted to expand their empires. And third, they wanted greater wealth. Europeans follows mercantilism to enrich their treasuries. Mercantilism states that a nation should export more than it imported, and accumulate gold to make up the difference. Now we will discuss about Europeans explore to foreign lands. In 1501, Italian sailor Amerigo Vespucci set out to find a route to Asia, and reached today's America. Continent America was named after him. In 1513, another famous explorer was the Spaniard Vasco Núñez de Balboa. He led an expedition through the jungles of Panama, and reached the Pacific Ocean. In 1519, Portuguese sailor Ferdinand Magellan set out to reach Asia by sailing west around South America. Now we will discuss the invasion of the Americas. Hernando Cortés was a Spanish conqueror or conquistador. In 1519, his army landed on Central American coast. They captured the Aztec emperor, Montezuma, and defeated the Aztecs. Smallpox, a disease spreader by Europeans, kills millions of Americans. Another conquistador, Francisco Pizarro, marched on the Incas. The Incas had built a powerful and wealthy empire centered in the Cusco Valley, in what is now Peru. With an army of only 180 men, Pizarro conquered the Inca. Between 1539 and 1542, 3 expeditions set out to find cities of gold, but all 3 failed to find the fabled cities of gold. Francisco Vázquez de Coronado traveled through present-day Arizona and New Mexico. Hernando de Soto set out from Florida to explore the southeast. Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo sailed up the California coast.
Hi. This is Crystal. I am going to explain about Section 2 of Chapter 2 called European Competition in North America. While Spain was taking control of the Americas, other Europeans were sending out expeditions to find the Northwest Passage, a water route through North America to Asia. In 1497, John Cabot, an Italian explorer, who searched for the Northwest Passage on behalf of England. In 1524, Giovanni da Verrazzano, an Italian explorer, who sailed for the French in search of the Northwest Passage. And France tried again between 1534 and 1536, with the voyages of Jacques Cartier, a French explorer, who explored the St. Lawrence River in search of the Northwest Passage. Now let's see how Spain responds to other European competition. French and English claims to North America on Treaty of Tordessillas angered Spain. Tensions grew on religious conflicts between Spain, England, and France. In one such fight, Spanish attacked a French fort in Florida that contained French Protestants. Now, we will learn about the defeat of the Spanish Armada. Angered by the attacks of the Sea Dogs, enraged Philip II, the Spanish king, decided to take revenge. Philip sent the Spanish Armada to conquer England and restore Catholicism to that nation. The Armada included 130 warships. It fought the English Navy in the English Channel. More than half of Spain's ships were destroyed. Spain was still a strong nation, but it was never again as powerful as it was in 1588. Now let's see how the French and Dutch seek trade. The French and Dutch nations were also exploring options to get rich by using colonization. The Frenchman, Samuel de Champlain, explored the St. Lawrence River. He founded a fur trading post at Quebec in 1608. It was the first permanent French settlement in North America. This colony was called New France. In 1609, the Dutch built a colony along the Hudson River. This colony was called New Netherland. In 1626, the Dutch founded the town of New Amsterdam, on the present-day site of New York City. The colony thrived from the fur trade with Native American.
Hi, I am Paul. And I am going to explain about the Section 3 of Chapter 2 called the Spanish and Native Americans. By 1700, Spain took control of much of the Americas. It created two provinces called New Spain and Peru. The province was ruled by the viceroy in the name of the king. First, Spanish backgrounds held power in the colonies. Second, Creoles, people of Spanish descent, who were born in the colonies. Third, mestizos, mixed Spanish and Native American ancestry. Fourth, leased power and rights to Native Americans. Now we will talk about beginning of slavery in the Americas. Slavery was firmly established in the Americas in order to provide cheap labor for the colonies. Many Native Americans died from overwork and European diseases. The Spanish and Portuguese needed workers. They turned to Africa for slaves. Europeans enslaved Africans because Africans were immune to most European diseases. They had no friends or family in the Americas to help them resist or escape. Enslaved Africans offered a permanent source of labor, including their children. And many Africans were already used to work on farms. The Spanish forced Native Americans to work on large farms called plantations. As more Native Americans died from burden of work and diseases. In 1500, European traders forcefully bringing Africans to the Americas for slave labor. This is known as African Diaspora. The voyage of the slave ships known as Middle Passage. Europeans in the Americas brought a movement of plants, animals, and diseases between the Eastern Hemisphere and the Western Hemisphere. This movement of living things across the Atlantic Ocean is called the Columbian Exchange.
With that, we come to the end of the chapter. This narration was presented by SchoolinMobile. Please visit us on the website SchoolinMobile.com.